The last time Arizona took the field, Cardinals beat the Cowboys in overtime, played much more physical than the Cowboys. But what will they do when they come east to take on the Panthers? Hey, how are you folks? Jason Horowitz, CBS Sports' Charley Casserly. Glad to be with you on the NFL previews presented by Comcast. And Charlie, we'll get to Arizona in a sec, but let's start with Carolina. The last 2 weeks, two totally different teams, getting hammered at Tampa Bay and then dominating New Orleans. Which team shows up this week?
I think the team that dominated New Orleans last week, hey, they're home, they played real good at home. I just think they had a bad effort and flat effort when they got beat by Tampa Bay. I think you'll see the Carolina Panthers, the first place Carolina Panthers, play that way this Sunday.
What about Arizona? Because at home, the last two games before the bye, played very well against Buffalo, played very, very well against Dallas. Something about them is different on the road. What is it?
Well, I think at home, when you look at their team, I don't think their secondary is real good. Now, at home, with their blitzing package up front, the crowd noise, team's offensive line, those visiting teams, they get beaten to the punch. As I saw that especially in the Dallas game, so that helps their secondary, which I think gets masks. Now, on the road this week against Carolina, hey, that pass rush won't be quite as effective. Their secondary, I think, will struggle.
Well, something that can help their offense is the fact that Anquan Boldin may be back here in Week 8. As of Thursday, he has been cleared medically to play, but he has said that he's not sure that he's going to be on the field in Week 8 at Carolina. If he is there, just how much of a matchup problem is that for Carolina?
Well, anytime you have two real good receivers on the field together, and you can see Bolden's numbers there, the big one that sticks out to me is the 5 touchdown passes. That presents problems because you can take away one receiver. Whoever he is, you should be able to take away the one guy. When you have two, that gives balance to the passing game. It gives the quarterback options to go on every play when he's throwing the football.
If Bolden can't go, have you seen enough from Steve Breston to say they still have two very good receivers?
I'm not really sure they have. It's not. He's not Bolden, but I think he is a young, developing guy who does have some speed, does have some quickness. But I don't think he's quite in Bolden's category to make plays with the ball and be. He's not going to be as big and as physical.
Well, meanwhile, for Carolina, they also have two receivers playing well, just like they did when they went to the Super Bowl. Steve Smith, but Muhsin Muhammad has really been a nice complement to the way that Smith has played. How has that worked so well?
Well, I think the one problem that the Panthers had is when you have Steve Smith, and he's a terrific player, one of the best receivers in the league, and you can see, his production there at 17-7, but Muhammad, very solid, almost 15 yards a catch right there. Smith is a guy people build their game plans around. I think what Carolina had lacked was any consistency at the other receiver position. It was almost like a revolving door. Now, with Muhsin Muhammad, you have a guy who's lined up, who's been there every game. He's a big guy. You have to call him a possession receiver, but he also gives you a little bit of an edge down in the red zone where he's a big physical guy. So I think the consistency week in and week out of lining up and being there, that says a lot right there.
And against Arizona's secondary, this is a big mismatch for the Cardinals?
Oh, I think so. Well, Steve, anytime you got Steve Smith, you got a potential. But this is a mismatch, and this is when you're watching one thing in this ball game, what I'd watch is this. The secondary play, the pass rush of the Cardinals, how are they going to control the two wide receivers, Steve Smith and Muhsin Muhammad?
Let's take a look at the AccuScore prediction. 10,000 tests, 10,000 results, and 70% of the time, the computer likes Carolina to get to 6-2 on the season, drop the Cardinals to 4-3. What do you like?
I like Jake Delhomme throwing against the Cardinals secondary, number one. And I also think that the rush defense of the Carolina Panthers and the speed of their linebackers, especially John Beeson and Thomas Davis, I think they'll shut down the running game of the Arizona Cardinals, make it one-dimensional. I don't think they can beat Carolina being one-dimensional.
Hey, look, in Arizona, they haven't won 5 of their first 7 games in 32 years. A win on Sunday, they would do that, but they're the Cardinals. So maybe it's a different thing.
These are the new Cardinals.
Maybe they're the new Cardinals. We'll see. We'll find out. It's a 1 o'clock Eastern kickoff. For more on this game or any other here in Week 8, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. Watch everything else on the CBS Audience Network. For Charley Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.